Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Your Sister Speak Show experience will consist of special guest interviews, live performances, in-studio interviews, and live on location reports. The special guests who will be on the Sister Speak Show are dynamic and impacting the communities with their passions. This is a talk show that will keep your mind and your soul informed, energized, and encouraged. We are a cultural renaissance platform that influences a climate that is conducive to who you are and who you strive to be. No reckless entertainment, just responsible listening nourishment. We don't go dumb, we go wisdom on the Sister Speak Show. And it is about making the known known. You are now activated. Welcome. Next on the Sister Speak Show. You are pretty for a dark-skinned girl. A controversial conversation about dark-skinned women who encounter discrimination and hardships daily in the entertainment industry because of their melanin. Join me in the Culture Climate tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with my special guest, Keith Sterling, as we discuss this topic. And we will not be holding back any punches on the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. Brothers and sisters, welcome. You are listening live to the Culture Climate on the Sister Speak Show. I am your host, Ayana, recording live from Dallas, Texas, and it is a serious 97 degrees. I don't know where you are, but I hope you're cool, you're hydrated, you're feeling good, you're living good, and that you have definitely prepared yourself for tonight's episode. You heard it. That's right, brothers and sisters. We are going to dive right into the controversial conversation that is plaguing this entire world. And my special guest, the entertainment public figure herself, the queen, my sis, Keith Sterling, is going to help assist with this discussion this evening. And you are invited to participate as well. You can chat live with us on the Sister Speak Show. All you have to do is just keep everything respectful, but definitely keep it genuine. And we're going to hold back, as I said on the commercial, no punches. It is crucial that we speak about this. And this is not the first discussion, but this is one of many. And I am adding our voice, the Sister Speak Show, into the pot. And I thank you so much for being mature. This is for mature audiences only. And hopefully we can all walk away enlightened and hopefully purging ourselves from some of the parts that we have contributed to this ignorance. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, brothers and sisters. I have 3 clips for you that are going to segue into this topic because it is crucial. I made sure I did my homework for you all this evening to provide you with educational audio clips that can just really provide us with a safe way to start the conversation. Well, not really safe, but definitely just a way to kind of gear everything for our special guest and to get your minds ready. Maybe some of what's going to be said you never even thought about. So let's go ahead and get into it with tonight's clips. The first one, brothers and sisters, is brought to us by Dazed on the YouTube channel. Always cite your sources. And this one is entitled, I gotta stop saying entitled, first of all. It's titled Dark Skin Girls. I'll see you on the other side of this clip.
But I'm going to simplify it again. I just said I don't like women with my complexion.
Them dark-skinned girls, they ain't feminine. Put them at the bottom of the pile, bruv. Don't want nothing to do with them, bruv. Like,
Does anybody else hate black bitches?
oh, allow them.
Dark-skinned bitches so big, so nasty.
No one likes Blick, bruv. Bruv, no one likes that.
They're not human.
Not literally, bruv. They're just... They always want to be in charge. You know them one, bruv.
We too gutter. Black people, my complexion, we too gutter. Light-skinned women, they most sensitive, you know?
Allow them.
I want you to be lighter than me.
Okay, well, I like your skin complexion.
Constantly going on, rude boy.
Some dark-skinned women out here sensitive.
No,
All the legs.
no, they too tough. They too tough. Light-skinned women, we could break them down more easy, you know what I'm saying?
Like, constantly going on. Like, always complaining about something. Always got something to say, bruv.
I'm talking about the black bitches. When they can't even get real hair.
Yeah, it must be because they're ugly, rude boy. Fam, like, dark-skinned girls, they all got attitude, rude boy.
Okay, brothers and sisters, I know the laughing at the end was the women who were all brown, of a brown skin hue, dark brown skin hue, laughing at the ignorance of the narrators of that film. Hold your peace, hold your peace. You know, there are some things that will be said that will be utterly just really disrespectful and disgusting, but we're going to be mature enough to work through this and just listen. This next clip I have prepared for you all for educational purposes only is the BBC 3 Dark-Skinned Girls. And this is dealing with colorism. And so we're going to learn just a little bit more about colorism, the definition. Let's get it. Let's go.
Colorism is being told to use skin lightening cream.
When a guy says, I only want to date a Peng Lighty. When there's no foundation for a dark-skinned girl, but 50 shades of beige. Want to know what colorism is? Well, let us break it down for you.
Colorism is the prejudicial or preferential treatment
Of same-race people based solely on their colour. Racism is about race.
but colorism is about how dark your skin is.
Racism usually comes from people from a different ethnic group. But colorism, that can come from anywhere, even from someone from the same ethnic group as you. Like, there's so many videos, like all the video vixens, I feel like the hottest ones are always the light-skinned girls. If there is a dark-skinned girl in it, she's usually got problems. She's usually, the one they're trying to get rid of, or the one that's just, just too much. When I met your ass, you was dead, broken, naked, and now you want half. Growing up in the stuff I consumed, the light-skinned girl was always the main character, and if there was a dark-skinned girl, she was usually the sidekick, and she was usually quite angry, and I think even now, that's still an issue. For example, in Dear White People, we have the typical light-skinned main character and the dark-skinned sidekick.
I just remember just a setting with just these two actresses or just brown people. Out of nowhere, you will have these white dancers come and start dancing behind them and doing these dance moves, Indian dance moves. It's just yo, where's my Indian homies at? Where's my Indian girls at? There's this one film that I remember where the guy sings that she's Gauri Chitti, which means she's white. She's white. Just repeatedly saying that. Oh, she's so beautiful, she's fair and lovely. When I saw that, I was shocked. I was like, whoa, you hear about these things, but you don't actually see it. And when you see it, you're like, whoa.
At 13 or 14, though, you've got no money, you can't spend £30 on math. The only thing that I could buy was Dream Atmos, Cocoa, and it was so thick and horrible and orange.
I remember being on set and the makeup artist using a foundation, a mineralizer that's so many shades lighter than I actually am.
And if you were to put it on your face and there was a flash, that was Slagline Central, because you're never going to be that orange. Boys I was friends with would say stuff like, being tan, that's like the perfect skin tone.
It's not uncommon to hear Nigerian guys back home say in order to marry her, she has to be a graduate, intelligent, and yellow.
I remember a work colleague saying to me that I'm quite dark-skinned for a Punjabi girl, and that just goes to show, like, the beauty ideals within the South Asian community that men have, like, that are just so detrimental to like, the self-esteem of women. You know, just the little things from, like, seeing the artwork that, like, my grandma had. It's like, you see fairer-skinned women in these images. I think it's not just Punjabi households, it's just, you know, Asian houses in general. Like, lighter skin was always championed, and, like, they would always maybe, like, introduce some sort of lightening cream or, like, you know, methods to help lighten or clean your skin to make you lighter. Colorism is
Bennett Elite Texas presents a back-to-school block party August 17th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we want you and your babies on the block at 700 South Copper Hill Road in Duncanville, Texas. Shop 110 is providing discounted hair services. There's a DJ, free food and drinks, free school supplies, giveaways, and much more. Come on out August 17th, and we will take care of you. Our goal is to have you and your babies looking good and feeling good for the school year.
Vision, sound, action, create, inspire, impact, evolve. You are now activated. Brothers and sisters, welcome back. You are listening live to the Sister Speak show, and this is the Culture Climate. I am your host, Ayana, and so far, so good. I just want you all to know you are in great company this evening. I know I am. Shout out to everybody who listens to the Sister Speak show. Every single country, city, you know, when I look at the statistics and I see the demographics, I just want to thank everybody. I look at the geolocation. Thank you so much for your support. Whether I know you or not, just the fact that you even tune in, I really appreciate you. So let's continue on with this evening's episode, dealing with You Are Pretty for a Dark-Skinned Girl. And just before I move on, I am a brown-skinned woman. I am a dark brown-skinned woman. So this evening's episode definitely is one that I can contribute to because I have experienced, oh my goodness, many challenges being my hue. And I have also overcome the ignorance of the devil. And I would not trade, and this is no hue shaming, I just would not trade my melanin for any other hue in the world. I love it. I have embraced it and I know who I am. But I'm going to save all of that goodness for when my queen calls in so we can really power hour, if you know what I'm saying. So this next clip, brothers and sisters, is brought to you all by Decoded on MTV. And this one has to deal with light skin privilege. Hold your peace. Once again, the goal of this show is not to hue shame, not to melanin shame. Whatever hue you are wrapped in within the village, within my tribe of people, it is what it is. But there's a way that we are to conduct ourselves with how we have been wrapped. Okay? Yes. So I'll see you on the other side of this.
Today, friends, we're talking about the light-skinned elephant in the room and why it keeps getting all of the attention. In the world of pop culture, darker-skinned women have frequently gotten the short end of the success stick. Just consider the most successful black female singers in the last decade. You could probably come up with dozens of names, including Alicia Keys, Ciara, Mariah Carey, Jhené Aiko, and of course, Beyonce. But can you name even 5 deeply melanated female pop stars? I mean, we did have Brandy as Cinderella, but that was 20 years ago. Wait, was it? From Lena Horne, the first black actress to sign a major studio deal, to Halle Berry, the first black actress to win a Best Actress Academy Award, lighter-skinned and often mixed-race women have usually broken through society's biggest barriers first. Now, this isn't to say they weren't hardworking or didn't deserve it, but black people with lighter skin, straighter hair, and more Eurocentric features have always been more likely to be given the paltry number of opportunities to access white spaces and institutions. This is the reality, but why? Now, before we answer that, we gotta say, who's considered dark-skinned or light-skinned is all relative and definitely varies from culture to culture. But for our purposes, when we say light-skinned, think Nicki Minaj, Zoe Kravitz, Rihanna, Zendaya. And when we say dark-skinned, think Viola Davis, Kelly Rowland, and Lupita. The roots of this light versus dark inequality stem all the way back to the days of slavery, when lighter-skinned slaves, often the mixed children of white slave owners, aka the product of rape, aka your not slick Thomas Jefferson, were given domestic work as opposed to the physical labor of darker slaves, thus landing higher on the skin tone hierarchy because of their proximity to whiteness. This separation was enacted based on the slave traders' false beliefs that darker-skinned people were better suited for hard labor, whereas lighter-skinned blacks were thought to be better suited for intelligent and domestic tasks. Don't get it twisted, though. Whether in the house or in the field, they were still enslaved, so it was definitely not a choice, no matter what your weird cousin on Facebook says. Out of the house slave versus field slave mentality came white supremacist stereotypes that framed light-skinned people as the good blacks and darker-skinned people as lazy, unintelligent, unattractive, undesirable, criminal, aggressive, and just all-around bad. Now, while the skin tone hierarchy known as colorism is a byproduct of white supremacy, it's not just a white thing. Stereotypical figures like the angry black woman and sassy black friend are, unfortunately, also present in black-made media. In the recent past, there have been numerous examples of black people in the media perpetuating the idea that lighter is better. The popular 90s sitcom Martin, as brilliant as it was, is a shining example of this problem. Light-skinned Gina was positioned as attractive, intelligent, and funny versus her dark-skinned friend Pam, who, despite being bangin', was often coded as unattractive and the butt of many of Martin's jokes. And what we will not do is stand for anyone coming for sitcom legend Tichina Arnold. And there's been even more recent instances of this. Remember that time Kanye West held a Yeezy casting asking for multiracial women only? Or when the casting call for the movie Straight Outta Compton described A girls as the hottest of the hottest with real hair, and D girls as, and I quote, African American girls, poor, not in good shape, medium to dark skin tone. Yikes, it be your own people. Or, remember when rapper Kodak Black, himself a dark-skinned black man, said that he doesn't date women who share his complexion because they're too gutter? Come on now, Kodak, black is in your name. These examples point to the fact that many black people, even those with the power to create change within their own industries, sometimes internalize the very colorist stereotypes that have kept them down. Now, the media doesn't necessarily cause colorism, but it reinforces it in ways that have real-world implications. Colorism has much wider ramifications than just who we see on our movie screens or on the cover of magazines. So prepare your hot Cheetos and Tums, because this gets even sadder. A 2011 study conducted in North Carolina found out that of the over 12,000 African-American women prisoners, light-skinned women were sentenced to 12% less prison time than darker ones. Or, consider the fact that according to a Harvard University study, dark-skinned blacks in the United States have lower socioeconomic status, more punitive relationships with the criminal justice system, diminished prestige, and less likelihood of holding elective office compared with their lighter counterparts. There have even been black dating apps with filters for skin tone. In other words, by privileging lighter skin, straighter hair, and more Eurocentric features, the media creates an environment that affects dark-skinned people on a social, political, and personal level. And yes, the only Aunt Viv I recognize is the original dark-skinned Aunt Viv. Now, of course, lighter-skinned people of color are not exempt from discrimination or racism, but acknowledging that they experience light-skinned privilege doesn't negate those struggles. But don't worry, I have great news. Well, maybe not great news, but helpful. There are some things that all people of color can do to combat colorism within their communities and in pop culture as a whole. This includes catching yourself from using language like pretty for a dark-skinned girl, engaging in open and honest conversations about how colorism affects your daily life, and if you're light-skinned, acknowledging your privilege. Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be team light-skin versus team dark-skin. It should be team melanated people of all sizes, shapes, and shades versus society's dumb bull. And look, we all have biases. To learn more and to challenge your own, check out lookdifferent.org. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Decoded.
Easy listening vibes, electric energy, contagious conversation. Listen live and on demand to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve.
Vision. Sound. Action. Create. Inspire. Impact. Evolve. You are now activated. Welcome back. You are listening live to the Culture Climate on the Sister Speak Show. I am your host, Ayana. And tonight's topic, if you don't know by now, we are discussing You Are Pretty for a Dark-Skinned Girl. This is a controversial conversation about dark-skinned brown women and their hardships and their daily struggles in the entertainment industry. And that's why I chose my special guest this evening. Not only is she of a brown skin hue just like myself, but she's in the industry and she sees it head on. We both know what it is to have to go through. And, you know, maybe you too have a story about some of your experiences, or maybe you have a question, or maybe you've learned some wisdom that you would like to share for those who may not be as strong as you are. We're going to need to have definitely coping skills and certain tools to equip us to combat the lies of the enemy, to combat the lies of the colonizers, to combat the lies of opposition, policies, thought processes, dining room conversations. You'd be amazed at the level of ignorance that is passed down from generation to generation. And you would like to think that ignorance would be an allergy that everybody had. But lo and behold, there are some people who will still take Benadryl, even though that they are allergic to that thing. And still, some people like shellfish, next thing you know, they're eating it, even though they have an allergy, and they just feel like a little Benadryl will cover up the allergy. No, some things that are no good for you, you definitely need to stay away from. And that one thing would be ignorance. A lot of times these panels are created to break the strongholds of words. To say that words don't hurt is an absolute lie. Words have an effect on us all. If that weren't so, why do I get such joy from reading the word itself, the Bible? We can't say that words don't have an effect. If they help, they can also hurt. And so we have to stop saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt. I would like to have a meeting with the people who came up with some of the stupidest sayings in the world to try to get you by when you're being bullied. No, sticks and stones will break somebody else's bones if they continue to come at me the way they keep coming at me. Because see, the pop-off develops. It develops after people keep trying you. You try the meek. Let me rephrase that. You know that being meek is the way to go. And a lot of people assume that because you're meek, you're weak. And then every now and again, there's an example. There is a guinea pig. There is a petri dish where you're going to be the one who discovers that this person can no longer take it. There are boundaries. And a lot of times, like I said, depending on your age, depending on the level of colorism that you have experienced, you may have really almost gone off on the deep end. Well, what would be the deep end, Ayana? Well, with everything, there's extremes. There's this side and there's that side. I don't like to be in the middle. I like to try to be solid. I'm not perfect, but I like to try to be solid. If this is where I'm at, this is where I'm at. And I do allow myself the process to change. Also, there are some thought processes that I had then that I no longer have. There's some foods that I used to eat that I no longer eat. So we do develop, we do evolve. And that is one of the goals in activating ourselves on the Sister Speak show. Right? So, on the extremes of colorism and dealing with bullying, some people may go into the skin lightening, the chemical peels. They may go into completely trying to airbrush what they have been taught to hate. And, the levels of what I have to encounter may also be just as deep as the solutions that I tried to provide to get you to shut up, to get you to accept me, to get you to lay off of me and to stop it. We did not go into a factory in our mother's womb and say, I want to be this color, that color, that color, because if there was a way to choose the way we look, we would all be screwed up. What do you mean, Ayana? Well, see, we would all try to choose something that is opposite of how we were fearfully and wonderfully made. And I think in the beginning and in the end, there are going to be many people who are going to have to drop to their knees in confession at the sight that they will see based on the image that we truly have been created in. Yeah, I'm not speaking in riddles. I'm just speaking in, if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you just don't. But when it comes to our hue, and the advances and the advantages and disadvantages that we face in the entertainment industry, in our homes, in our workplaces, and abroad, because this is not something that just hits in the Western world. There are Indians who experience a caste system based on color. There are Mexicans, South Americans, Central Americans who experience and do the same thing. This is all over. And, a little bit of you is like, well, I find comfort in knowing that, gosh, I thought I was the only one going through this. But at the same time, like, there's extreme outcasting that takes place based on colorism that is affecting our daily lives, the way we live economically, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And we've got to get a grip on it so we can be able to function how we were fearfully and wonderfully made. A lot of us have a lot of fear based on what other people think of our own skin color. Now, this is going to go real deep. And like I said, chat with us. What have you experienced based on your color? Your dark skin hue. I want to hear from the dark skin women this evening and the dark brown skinned women. I can't even say black because I'm brown. I'm brown. I am brown. BROWN. Now, my hair is a 1B, but I am a brown woman. So I still am trying to have a meeting with the person who looked at my people and said, you're black. I need to talk to you. I need to see what's going on with you and how you live in what, and live in color. Okay, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, excuse me. Yes, you, the entrepreneur right there. Do you need a logo for your brand? You do? Well, remember this name, Kiara Douglas. She's a sister queen whose design services I use that will elevate your brand. See these logos right here? These are just a few of the logos that she designed for the Sister Speak show. She's affordable, she's creative, professional, and on time. All you have to do is just go to Deluxe Designs LLC and tell her that the Sister Speak show sent you.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. You are listening live to the Culture Climate on the Sister Speak show. I am your host, Ayana. So getting into this, when it comes to your hue in the entertainment industry, we know for a fact that we see discrimination. We cannot say that we don't. We see it. We see a preference. We see a promotion. And we also see a put down. We see segregation amongst our own. And some of our own have even taken on the thought process of the colonizers, the oppressors, the dark one, the devil himself, because, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against a spiritual wickedness in high places, principalities. And so we have to understand what spiritual warfare is, and the devil can use anybody whom he wants to create a disaster and to hurl insults at you. So when it comes to, the entertainment industry, auditions, when it comes to going out for a role, when it comes to being a R&B artist, a rapper, female rapper, anybody who is coming in the entertainment industry with a dark skin tone has already been set up to have to go harder, go harder in order to prove their talent. Where an industry that says its foundation is based on talent, ability, skill set, beautiful features. Now, when we get into the beautiful features aspect, a lot of times, and I'm just going to be very honest, I played a clip, and Nivea, who is a lighter skin hue, said, and she's an R&B artist, she said that the industry said that she was not effable. Now, let's just say, okay, well, she's light skinned, but they said she's not effable. So now, not only, now throw sexual overtones, sexual proposals, sexual advances, and sexual suggestions, right? You need to be sexy. You need to be effable. You need to be light skinned. You need to be desirable on the eyes of those who look at you on TV and those who look at you in a magazine. Those who have to look at you when they come for a service that you will provide. You have to be desirable. Okay. I can understand a presentation. I can understand me being a commercial and having to look good, feel good, smell good. I can understand all of that. But let's just go a little bit deeper. Is this based on your perspective? Or a fearfully, wonderfully made perspective, if you will? Who is this to say that because I am darker, that I am not as talented as my lighter skinned counterpart? Because when I was listening to the video about, Tisha Campbell and Tisha Arnold, got all my Reginas and Tishas, when they were talking about them, Pam and Gina on Martin, and, I thought about that, and I had to bring my mind to the side and say, now, wait a minute, let's just take away all the humor. Is this really funny? At whose expense is it? Is it at the expense of, okay, this is just a show, it's just scripted, this is just a character, and we can be carefree and not add all this extra thought into it and analyze it? Or are you taking a shot at all of the dark brown skin sisters? Script writer, executive producer? Just think about it. Like, there's a table read that you have to have in the industry. There is a table read where we sit down, we go over the script to see if everybody's going to mesh, if we all are going to be able to say the same things that we need to say in order to be consistent on our vibe. We need to make sure that we are going to be able to do what this show needs to be done. And BDB. BDB, right? describing the quote unquote kitchen naps in the back of her head. You know, all of the insults that Martin hurled at Pam. Now, Pam came back because, you know, she came back, but we ain't talking about that tonight. We talking about what was the intention behind the script when written. Why was Pam single? Why was Pam casted as the loud, obnoxious, non-feminine, non-demure type character? Maybe she had it with Martin. I don't know, but I'm just saying. And when you're going into Hollywood, you're there, you finally made it, you get a role, and you're just so happy to be there that maybe a lot of your moral compass kind of, does not activate the way it used to, doesn't kind of hit on certain geographic locations that are a soft spot and a tender spot in the community that you come from, And so now we're looking at, okay, how have the brown-skinned women that looked at Tichina Arnold as, wow, there's a sister representing my skin tone. How do they feel about the things that were said to her? And do you feel like that was directed towards you? Do you feel like you were attacked? Do you feel like at your expense, these jokes were told? Or is this something that you could just roll off your back and say, hee hee, ha 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 ha, you so funny. I love Martin. But do you know him to love him? We think about these things and we always attach the word love to it. We really don't know what love is. And because we assign it too loosely to things. Ooh, I love me some Martin. Ooh, I love me some this. Ooh, I love me some that. But at whose expense? Because the way that she was portrayed, it's like that sidekick. And it really threw me back because it's just like, it's in syndication and, my people need to work and they need to act. But I'm not torn between, do I support this show or do I, stand firm on the fact that I'm not with this colorism? No, I'm not with colorism. Bump your show. You can always create another show, but then I want to get into the fact that there are powers that be that have the money. They have the access to the excess. They are the door openers, the yayers, the nayers, the okay, but I need you to put this in there, that in there. And, having this dark-skinned woman be the lead role, we need a light-skinned sister in this. We can't have, throughout time, we have to stick to the MAGA complex. So, how does Tichina Arnold feel when she goes home? How does she separate the scripts and the lines from what she's heard growing up her entire life? It's heavy. How do you unwrap all of that and show up every day with a Coke White smile on your face? How do you endure it? I understand babies to feed, this, that, and my dreams and all of that, But Biggie did say it was all a dream. And at the end of the day, what do you teach your daughter? How do you help her combat the colorism that she has to face? The entertainment industry does favor lighter skinned women. However, that does not mean that dark-skinned women are not beautiful. You are pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Let's get into it. If you go to my Instagram page at SGT Queen, you will see that I put 4 in quotations. Because That is the epitome of ignorance when it comes to a disrespectful comment. That's not a compliment to me. Because when you say to me, because I hear it let me say I don't hear it all the time. I heard it enough. Now I just hear I'm beautiful because I am. And you are too. However, embrace yourself. You got to know it, not conceited, but do embrace yourself, please. It gives the enemy a harder chance to penetrate you with the colonizer's comments. So anyway, when I first heard that, I said, oh, thank you. When I first heard it, when I was young, just so happy to hear somebody finally look at my skin tone and not be offended. Actually find a piece of gold reflecting off of my hue. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, thank you. And I'm going to be very transparent. When I first heard it, it made me say, oh, well, then I look better than this dark-skinned girl. Oh, I'm prettier than that dark-skinned girl. Oh, I'm prettier than her. It is designed to segregate. And that was an ill way to think. It was an ill way to breathe. It was an ill way to look at my sisters, okay, and fellow queens, and to think I was better than them. Once again, the colonizer had pinned me against my own people. That's segregation, malicious segregation, I would say. I don't have an issue with segregation, but the malicious segregation amongst my own people is just really, it is horrible. And you'll find yourself thinking you look better than another dark-skinned human. And that's just not how we are to gaze upon our fellow kings and queens. And then I would think to myself now, in hindsight, the pain, and the suicidal thoughts, the depression, the anxiety, the lack of satisfaction, the anger, the hostility, and the lack of hope that sister might have had, because I had those symptoms as well. When you experience colorism, there are side effects, and the side effects were just mentioned, and you feel isolated. You feel mad at the world, angry Black woman. And I'm brown. You're brown. We're brown. But angry Black woman. And you don't even know why. You haven't taken the time out to figure it out. You're part of the reason. Directly or indirectly. And I think about the sisters who I thought I was prettier than because somebody else had told me I was pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Like, we're just sitting in this pile of rubble looking like booger wolves. A booger wolf comes in any race, if that's the case. And that's no shade, but, we all have eyes. We know what time it is. I don't hold back any punches, but if we're to talk about just looks, and if we're just to be honest about looks, because what you see with your eyes, unless you have some type of eyes that are enhanced with sage vision, to where you see, people on the way you should. But for those of us who are a work in progress, when you see somebody who is not attractive. But to say that somebody's not attractive based on their color, no, that won't pass. So to have to walk daily and have nobody want to talk to you, date you, look at you, you go to school, you are the butt of every joke every day. Transparent moment. 8th grade for me at a school in Richmond, California, Catholic school called St. David's. I had to attend for 7th and 8th grade. I'd like to really call it St. Hale. But I experienced extreme colorism from my own people. And there were 2 particular girls that they just would not let up. MB and AB. Your initials. I'm just going to say face because I can't give them power on my podcast, please. But they were really, really disrespectful. Always talking about my skin tone. I hated myself. One day I got in the car and I decided I was mad at my parents. I was mad at them for creating me. And I was more in particular, I was really mad at both of my parents, my daddy being of a darker hue and my mama being of a lighter hue. And I was mad because I wanted to be my mama's color, because I thought if I was my mom's color, then I wouldn't have to deal with the hell that I had to deal with every day going to Catholic school. And it was just every day. It was always these dark skin, this tar baby, Hershey dark child. I mean, that's just whatever it was. And then to add to it, I love to play, and I played in the sun, no sunscreen. So my hue was even more melanated, and if I could actually use that term in that sentence, and it was just more enhanced. And they just would not let me up. I experienced an extreme, it's like puberty came and jumped me. It was like I was walking down the street, and if puberty were a gang, puberty said, there she is, there she go. And puberty jumped me. And I'm talking about, I really went through some serious cocoon stages. And I, just being real. And they really made it hard for me. I hated my color. I wanted to be white. I wanted to be a color that doesn't exist. Today on the Sister Speak Show, you better know it. I wanted to be a color that did not exist. Period. I wanted to... I wanted to be completely opposite of who showed up in the mirror. I wanted to bleach. I wanted to fade. I wanted to get rid of this. I hated it. I didn't think I would ever be able to enjoy the freedoms and liberties of life. And that's just being able to walk outside and just not have to deal with bull crap every day. Okay? And when you are of a darker hue, you know what it is to be last. You know what it is to be rejected. You know what it is to, no matter what you do, not be accepted. Latest shoes, latest clothes, latest this, latest that. And you still at the beginning of the day ain't enough. You're not enough. You got to do more just to fit in with people who deal with insecurities also. And now with the rejection, with the torment, with the torture of being a dark-skinned woman. It makes you have to feel like you have to do more. And then to encounter the hate amongst your own people who are the same hue, that's a whole nother, it's ugly. It is a competition within a competition within a competition. And then you have to deal with the brothers who are of a dark skin hue who want nothing to do with anything that looks like who shows up in their mirror. Oh no, not all, but there are some brothers. This is a side note for another show. There are some brothers who were severely wounded because they were teased by sisters because of their skin tone. They called them ugly. They called them this. They called them that. They were the booger wolf. They were this. And then next thing you know, here he go trying to get with a white woman. Don't want to have anything to do with you, sisters. And then you see him later on in life, and he's not with anything that looks like anybody from your tribe, even though he's supposed to be. And you wonder, know why. And I'm not justifying any type of anything. I'm just saying, though, cause and effect. You want to know why? It's because in school, somebody that looked like you said he wasn't good enough. Now he's all grown up looking good, but he is so damaged, so scarred that he wants to have nothing to do with anybody that looks like his mama. Sisters, we are not the victims all the time. We've got to stop that. We got to stop acting like we are the victims all the time. We are definitely predators as well. Moving forward to tonight's topic. Dealing with, you are pretty for a dark-skinned girl. We'll be right back, brothers and sisters, after this commercial break.
Bennett Elite Taxes presents a back-to-school block party August 17th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we want you and your babies on the block at 700 South Copper Hill Road in Duncanville, Texas. Shop 110 is providing discounted hair services. There's a DJ, free food and drinks, free school supplies, giveaways, and much more. Come on out August 17th, and we will take care of you. Our goal is to have you and your babies looking good and feeling good for the school year.
To my sisters who are looking for new ways to elevate, enhance, and embrace their natural beauty, the Sister Speak Show has you covered with a new segment called The Upgrade, focusing on hair, skin, nails, wardrobe, mind, body, and soul. Beginning Mondays in August at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, your physical, spiritual, and mental health matters to us on the Sister Speak Show.
You are listening to the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. You are listening live to the Culture Climate on the Sister Speak Show. Tonight's topic, you are pretty for a dark-skinned girl. We're talking about the hardships and struggles that sisters have to encounter daily in the entertainment industry. You know what I thought about? I thought about hip-hop. And I thought about the rapping in particular in hip-hop. And I thought about the lighter hue brown skinned women versus darker brown women. And you know what? I was just thinking about Cash Doll. And Cash Doll is a brown skinned woman, brown skinned queen. And she's been in the game for a minute. Hard lyrics, dope videos, beautiful face. Been grinding. Shout out to the 313 Detroit, because I really rock with y'all. And there are some other female rappers who have come up before and after her, and they look like they're getting a little bit more shine. You know, because I'm not going to say any names tonight, but you know that there are some people who are always pumped pumped. And they get these breaks. And I'm like, what about Cash Doll? You know, like, what about all the other sisters? You know, you got another rapper named Kamaya out of Oakland. Shout out to her. You know, and I, you know, what about these other female rappers out here who are of a brown hue, who are browner hue, who are not getting the shine that these other ones are? And I'm just like, wait a minute now. How come Cash Doll ain't y'all tight? Ain't y'all tight? You feel me? And so shout out to Cash Doll for your grind and what you do. But if I could sit down and interview her, which I hope I get to do, because goodness, you got to have goals for your podcasting. You know, if I have an opportunity to sit down and converse with her, I want to ask her, like, what are some of the struggles, if any, that you have experienced in the entertainment industry based on your skin tone? You know, do you find it harder? Are you having to, you know, prove it more? Do you feel like there are some, you know, opportunities that you were looked over that were given to somebody else that you know that just really didn't deserve it? You don't have to say any names, but just a yes or a no, because it's not like you can hide it. Now, earlier I had said, you know, that, you know, when it comes to the industry, a lot of times people feel the need to have to bleach their skin. When I was working at a beauty supply store, I had to literally, I'm talking about hold my peace, because our brothers and our sisters and our brothers, you know, they're coming to the beauty supply store and they're purchasing skin lightening cream, Fair White, and all these other different banned brands over there in Africa and in India, you know, and they're purchasing them. And I just wanted to grab their hands and say, you are enough. You are beautiful. You don't have to do this, you know, but I'm also caught between a rock and a hard place because this is my job. And so, you know, in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I just pray that they will be delivered from the bondage of the lies of the dark one, of the devil himself, you know, because they are operating as if they are ugly. They are operating as if they are not pretty. And this one particular woman came to my line and she purchased about $326 worth of skin lightening cream. Now, I'm trying to hold, because my face sometimes says it all. I might not even say anything, but if my face gets to showing it, that's it. Okay, so I'm over here and I'm ringing her up and I'm like, what's going on in my mind? Like, whoa. But she's got like this attitude towards me. I'm like, why she got an attitude towards me? I didn't tell you to buy this. Okay. Don't get mad at me because I saw BBC and I know what's going on in your country. Now, you might be keeping some of these boxes for yourself and you might be sending some back home. But regardless, I know what's going on and you are not happy with yourself, sister. You're not, and you believe that you need to bleach in order to please. And that's just not what you need to do. So I rang her up. She had an attitude towards me, and I think it's because of my hue. See, some people will get mad at you because you've accepted your hue. You are fine in it, because I'm fine in it, but other people are not. But the damage that is done as a result of bleaching your skin is far greater than many people want to talk about. And a lot of the damage is irreversible. And, you know, how do you get the patches off of your knuckles and your knees and around the cuticles of your toes and the cuticles on your fingers? Like, how do you eliminate that? What do you do when your child comes out the hue that you came out? Are you going to provide them with the same type of products in order to make them feel comfortable? Because how do I look to mama as being queen if mama looks like the opposer, the oppressor? Mama, you're getting real light. In a minute, you know, I'm going to start, you know, singing Michael Jackson songs to you, you know, like what's going on? Because at this point in the stage, your daughters are going to be confused and you're teaching them how to hate. You know, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's very, very true. But what about when the berry is darker but the juice is sour? I said it. I know that clap probably hit y'all ears, but y'all be all right. I didn't have enough time to get to my effects and hit that lightning bolt. So I just had to slap my hands. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, is your juice sour or is it sweet? What type of juice comes out of your mouth? Are you content with the Barry in the mirror? Or do you want to be Barry White? That was a good one. Thanks. Anyway, I'm just saying though, in the entertainment industry, how far are you willing to go to be accepted? Or are you willing to open up doors, make a door and open it up for yourself? How so? Well, if they don't want to cast you, maybe it's time for you to become a script writer and a producer and a director and create your own film that you star in, produced, and then you also cast other sisters to be a part of this epic movie. Food for thought. You have to create the lane. Right now in Dallas, Texas, there's a lot of major freeway expansion going on. My husband brought to my attention that 1 million people moved to Dallas and 1 million people moved to Houston recently. And so, they are expanding the freeways. They're having to do more to make it easier for people to travel and make it easier for people to get to where they have to go without so much congestion. So if you know that in the entertainment industry, there's congestion, traffic, and that there are delays, and that there is no road work, then you're going to have to put on your hard hat and create the environment, the metropolis that you would like to see yourself star in. And now you're creating an empire that allows other sisters to navigate through and be successful in. Now, some of you are saying, well, what about the monopoly for the metropolis? What about the capitalism? How are we going to fund this project? What are we going to do? We're going to have a fish fry, a chicken fry, a car wash. What are we going to have to do? First of all, you're going to have faith, favor, and a fervent expectation that the situation will elevate. You're going to have a strong prayer life. You can't be lazy. You have to be so sick and tired of having to look the colonizers in their eyes and be rejected. You're going to have to get so sick and tired of looking at the same sisters get the part that you keep going out for, that you say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired and I'm ready to do something different, and you create your own metropolis. Start saving now. Do you know people film movies on iPhones? There are so many different apps that allow you to write a script, voice command, so you don't have to sit there and fidget with your fingers, even though sometimes the voice command does not always copy what you said. Okay? But anyway, you're going to have to do something different. Stop always going and trying to borrow, and why don't you start being a lender? It's better to be a lender than a borrower. So stop always going with your cup, slinging it around, asking for spare change from the colonizer, and start making it to where they got to come to you and they have to break you off because you're the empire. You're the network. You have the views. You have the streams. You're casting people that they never ever in their minds would have thought of, but it looks good on screen. I mean, a queen is a queen. And a brown-skinned queen, a dark brown-skinned queen is a queen. But sometimes we like to invite ourselves to parties that we're really just tolerated at. You don't want to go where you're tolerated. Come on. You want to be in a building, in an environment where you are elevated, appreciated. I'm serious about that. Why are we always trying to show up at places that we are not welcomed? That's how we end up putting that dress on. When we're a man and we want to get the role so bad that we're willing to do whatever we can, even if it means selling out. You know, we don't want our sisters to sell out. Stop getting rhinoplasty, nose jobs. Stop it. Stop. Stop trying to make yourself look like a Barbie doll. You got to get over. You got to grow up. You're not a Barbie doll. Stop trying to let a voodoo doll be the epitome of beauty for you. Did you say that Barbie was a voodoo doll? I sure did. If that's what you think you need to look like, there's a curse on your mind and I rebuke it. In the name of Jesus the Christ. No, sister, you are a queen. It doesn't get any better than that. But a lot of times I play with Barbies. Okay? You play with something long enough, you go get attached to it. And you're going to start having image distortions. And you might be a little skewed. But as a dark-skinned sister, you've got to stop trying to make yourself look like your European counterparts. Okay? Now it's going to get deep. We like to try to make up for what we don't have. Your hair is not accepted in the entertainment industry as a whole. Bits and pieces accept your natural hair. They accept your curly, coarse, beautifully textured hair. It is now becoming a movement. I never knew that it stopped going. How could something be in style that never was out of style? But they don't accept your hair. Whose hair do they accept? What texture of hair is accepted in the entertainment industry? You don't want to say it, huh? Okay, I think a couple of you probably said it. You know whose hair is accepted. I'm not trying to step on your toes, but how have you dumbed your queendom down, your queenhood down, your queenship down? How have you dumbed down your fearfully and wonderfully made image lately? As a result of your struggle. It's easier for you to show up on the job with your hair straight. It's not as intimidating. We don't feel as attacked. Hey, Lakeisha, is there any way you could kind of like dumb down the truth? Because if I look at the truth, it's going to remind me of who I'm not. And I just really don't want to have to deal with the Most High God's texture of hair on your head. So could you please cover that up quickly? You do want this $18.50 an hour, don't you? You know, before you were only making $8.25. So could you please stop looking so black? Is that what you want me to stop looking like? So black? So brown? So I need to go and dumb my crown down. Oh, you want me to take off my crown and put on somebody else's hat? Did you just, what, Ayana, did you, hat versus crown. I said it. What, do you want me to look a way that's less intimidating for you, is what you're saying? Oh, and we know this is the truth. Look in the entertainment industry. right now. How does everybody's hair look that is a sister? You know, it's even in the media, news anchors are starting to say, look, I'm tired of this. This is not who I am. I am tired of trying to make this station feel comfortable and less threatened, even though they love to report news on people who they are threatened by. Anyway, I'm tired of this. And the next thing you know, it's a whole segment about how Lakeisha Johnson, and if your name is Lakeisha Johnson, it's not because I'm just saying the name, how Lakeisha Johnson has decided that she is going to put away her wig and wear her natural hair, and how free she feels. And you should see the look on the co-workers' eyes. Oh, I love it. It's so nice and so curly, and it's just so good to be free, isn't it? Meanwhile, after the microphones are off, it's a whole nother conversation. I am tired of having to make the colonizers feel comfortable. And I am tired of having to make the colonizers feel so comfortable to the point where I have to dumb who I am down all the way. I'm tired of having to please you. I'm tired of having to fit in. I don't need the job that bad in order to promote my talent. I am so glad that this age of artists, entertainers are going the independent route and saying, bump what you going through. You know, why can't we have a show called Brownish and then it be brown skinned people on there? Because that show, the show Blackish, I just hate the name. It's no dig. It's just I hate the name. In the entertainment industry, there are protocols that are racist, that are predated, and are creating a further gap in between the bonding and the integrating of my own people. My own people right now are still to this day dealing with that team light skin versus team dark skin. And I know when I even posted this video, the commercial for the video, that I'm sure it rubbed some people the wrong way. But if you are struggling daily with being a dark-skinned woman, you're going to have to go into some serious prayer. You may need some therapy because you are damaged, sister. And some of you are so damaged that you feel like the solution is to marry somebody who is white or non-black, and I'm just saying, or not out of the 12 tribes of Israel, so you could not have to have your children endure what you experience, instead of being a strong queen and standing forward, rising out of your dilemma and being a pillar in your community for younger girls and younger boys, you know, and instead of saying the solution is to marry the very person who made you think this way. Oh, wow. You know, I see it daily. I see so many sisters of a browner skin tone with very, 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 very pale skin people, white people, just to say it. And they look like they feel like they found the solution. And I just want to reach out to that sister and hug her. Ayana, love is love. This ain't the right show for you. If that's what you're about to say to me, this isn't the show for you. We got to call a spade and deal with it, because if we would heal then we would not make the choices that we make. We would not have to substitute for a real thing. Ain't nothing like a king. So we wouldn't have to make some of the choices that we make. Some of you right now are so mad at the texture of your hair that you want to marry outside of your race just so you can live through your children's hair. Ain't no guarantee that your mixed baby gonna come out with some straight stringy hair. You better do some Googling on combinations gone different, textures gone different. You better stop using these men so you can have a pretty baby. You're pretty. You're beautiful. But you don't believe it. You've never believed it. You've never believed that you were beautiful and pretty. And you've never done anything to enhance it. You've only done things to take away from it. You know, you would be able to accept how you look in the mirror if you would embrace it. Those words that you heard about being ugly and this and that and all these other things, those are lies. Ugly is a state of mind, and it is a state of being, and it's in a state of energy. Now, your looks can be challenging, but there are things that we can do to make ourselves look better in so many ways. So many ways. There is somebody for every. There's somebody that can look at you and be like, you are beautiful, that may look at another sister who's been getting jocked all her life and like, she's absolutely unattractive. So, you know, you're going to have to show up to the mirror and you're going to have to fight the person who shows up. And that's you. You are your worst enemy. You're going to have to throw out all your fade creams. You're going to have to throw out all of the things that you've been doing to make yourself look like the colonizer's wife. And you're going to have to come out of that darkness into the marvelous light. No pun intended, but you are, so you can see who you really are. Because I can guarantee you that your opinion versus the fearfully and wonderfully made aspect doesn't stand a chance. Can't stand up to the fact that you are a beautiful creation. That you do look like the Most High God. Oh my gosh, y'all don't get it. You all don't get it. The gig is up. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. Your looks are perfect. Your skin tone is beautiful. Sister, come here. Come here, sister. Let me give you a hug. I know. Come here. Come here. Loosen up your shoulders. Let me embrace you. It's okay. Drop those tears. That's how we cleanse. That's how we purge. It doesn't feel good when people keep calling you ugly. It doesn't feel good, I know. It doesn't feel good always having to prove your worth. I understand. It doesn't feel good when it seems like you are unattractive to every man who you come across. I understand. Come here. Here's a tissue. I know. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college, the parties, the walk down the street, the racist slurs, the bigotry, the colorism, the discrimination, all because you are a dark brown skin woman. I know, it's okay. Forgive yourself. You were just trying to lighten the lies that the enemy had told you. You weren't trying to lighten the tone. You just were confused. But because confusion comes from the devil, and we know the source. We rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus the Christ, and we command him to go into the pit of hell with every single lie that you have believed. And we forget every single lie that was told to you about you and your tone. You're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Hurt your feelings. Or you're too dark. Hurt your feelings. I understand. I can relate. You were teased to the point that nobody understands how many times you tried to slit your wrist. You were teased to the point that nobody realizes that you put bleach in your water, hoping that it would come off. Nobody understands that the reason why you couldn't smile in your pictures is because you were hurting. Because every time the photographer would say cheese, tell you to say cheese, you had a flashback of being called ugly, and you didn't think you were worthy enough to be photographed. You dreaded picture day and prom, and you didn't think anybody would ask you, and you went through a lot of time by yourself. You were depressed, and a lot of tears just because you were brown skin. And you yourself have called yourself ugly. You have hated on yourself because of your skin tone. You wanted to be white. You wanted plastic surgery. You wanted to do everything you could not to look like the image in the mirror. And how is that going for you? I know. It sucks. It's not the solution for the pollution. Sis, you are beautiful. You are a beautiful woman. It's going to take some time to heal from the lies. It's going to take some time to unlearn these patterns that you have created. But you are beautiful. Your tone was not an accident. As a matter of fact, why don't you, I can't say if I were you because I am you. Let's moisturize. Let's glow. Let's tend to our skin in a way that resonates. I am a queen. Let's eat right. Let's do everything that we can do naturally and organically and holistically and spiritually to enhance our beauty. We don't have to scrape. We don't have to scrub. We don't have to chemically peel. We don't have to do any of those things in order to fit in to something that has no shape. The colonizer does not hold the true definition of what beautiful is. No matter where you are in this world, you're going to have to hold on. You're going to have to hold on because there are some countries that are worse than others. I get it, sister. I get it. but your color is closer to the sun. And you have to be spiritually minded to understand that. I am grateful for my skin tone. And today, sister, you too will be grateful for yours. The entertainment industry is not the benchmark for beauty. The Bible tells us what true beauty is. And that's the only words that are true and meaningful, and that should change your life. Tomorrow, when you get up, you're not going to walk outside of your door with the same type of energy and countenance that you have had before. Oh no. You are going to start working on shedding the old man and coming forth as a new man. It's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. And to those of you who tease people because of their color, for those of you who have had some of the nastiest jokes you could ever tell about somebody's color, for those of you who have made it hard for somebody to go to school, for those of you who have children that demon children at that are at school teasing their own people based on their color, for those of you who have contributed to the mental illnesses and depression and the surgeries and all of the issues that my brothers and sisters have faced as a result of your tongue, you need to repent. We forgive you and we forget you. Because it's only when you forget that they have no power. Don't hold on to something that happened to you in 1989. Let it go. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Vision, sound, action, create, inspire, impact, evolve. You are now activated.
Listening to the Sister Speak Show is even easier now with the new abilities available from Spreaker Skill on Amazon Alexa. With Spreaker on Alexa, you can now listen to the Sister Speak Show from even more places from all around the world. You also have navigation control, fast forward and rewind podcasts to make sure you never miss a second of your favorite show. And then you can ask for show recommendations like the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, and evolve. Brothers and sisters, we want you.
Bennett Elite Texas presents a back-to-school block party August 17th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we want you and your babies on the block at 700 South Copper Hill Road in Duncanville, Texas. Shop 110 is providing discounted hair services. There's a DJ, free food and drinks, free school supplies, giveaways, and much more. Come on out August 17th, and we will take care of you. Our goal is to have you and your babies looking good and feeling good for the school year.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. You are listening live to the Culture Climate on the Sister Speak Show. I thank you all so much for tuning in tonight to You Are Pretty for a Dark-Skinned Girl. If you guys just heard that noise, I promise you it's not flatulence. I'm sitting in my chair. I have a salon chair that I sit in, and it makes a couple noises every now and again. I hope y'all don't think I'm just back here being rude, blowing up the spot. I'm really not. It's just a chair. But anywho, I just want to thank you all for listening to this episode tonight. My special guest didn't call in, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to hear more from her. We'll definitely connect with her. I want to thank you all for just the beginning of this conversation. There's so much more that we could talk about. Thank you all for listening to the clips. I feel like those audio clips that were provided for you all in the beginning really set the stage for tonight's show. I know that it's a serious topic, but I also know that you all have things to do. And, when producing a show like this, you want to provide enough educational information as well as some fun and some good conversation just to where, we leave feeling like we had a full moment together. And so I'm here for you all. If you would be interested in being a special guest on the Sister Speak show, all you have to do is contact me at the Sister, SISTA, Speak Show 8617 @gmail.com. You can also contact me at SGT Queen on Instagram. If you want to know what's popping with me all the time, check my Instagram page. That's where everything is at. You see, we're up, we're moving, we're vibing. For those of you who are in Dallas, Texas, I expect you to come out to the block party at 700 South Cockrell Hill Road in Duncanville, Texas, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 17th. Shop 110, the lady who does my hair, celebrity hairstylist, Letra. And shout out to Rich and Tifa and Jersey and Janice, Jaleesa, that's her name. Shout out to them. They're going to be doing hairstyles and everything, discounted hair services. It's going to be a wonderful event. So if you're in the DFW Metroplex, I expect you to come on out. Free school supplies and just everything. You can check out the flyer on my page. Once again, at SGT Queen on Instagram. Now, also, brothers and sisters, check this in. There are other segments on the Sister Speak show. If you want to be a special guest on the platform, coming to the stage, the Suspense Files, the Upgrade, I forgot about the Upgrade, the Culture Climate, the Laugh Line, and the Tour, I'd love to have you. If what you're doing is conducive to what the Sister Speak show represents, then guess what? You're almost there. If you have some music that you would like for me to play on the tour, all you have to do is send me a radio version, MP3 version of your music, and I would love to do it. I'm all about supporting the independent artist grind. No matter what genre you're in, I am here for you. I love to support you and introduce you to my international listening audience. Shout out to my international listening audience. I really appreciate you because you all keep this show going. It's monetized, and I appreciate everybody listening. Now, as we get ready to wrap this on up, brothers and sisters, check this out. If you are not happy with where you are in your life at this moment, I beckon you to activate. You're going to always hear me say that. I expect you to get up, get out, and get something, no matter whether you are a king or a queen. And when it comes to the entire village, I support all my brothers and sisters, no matter what hue you are within the village. I have no issue at all. I'm going to always say that, okay? No matter what, I support you. I don't want you to think this is just a dark brown-skinned woman thing. No, this is a village thing, and I've made that known. I'm here for all my brothers and sisters. I just want us to heal. I want us to recover. I want us to repent, and I want us to walk successfully in our redemption and our salvation, so we can really reap the benefits of obedience, and so we would not have to feel like we are always last in a way to where we feel like we can never get ahead. Please, if you are within the village, shut your mouth when it comes to team dark skin, team light skin. You sound like a fool. Did she just? Yes. you sound like a fool. You are contributing to the colonizer's script. Stop it. When you are amongst other brothers and sisters and you are in the vicinity of other white people, please don't make jokes about color in their presence or out of their presence. I have seen that happen and I don't like it. Don't do that. You don't want to be called an Uncle Tom or an Aunt Tom. That would be very difficult. This is my Aunt Tom. How? Long story, started back in San Francisco. But anyway, no, seriously, I really want my brothers and sisters to understand we need to make more of a conscious effort to curve our conversation and to create a conversation that is culturally safe, culturally accepting, and promotes healing. Nobody should ever have to feel bad because of their skin tone. Butterfly in the sky, I can fly twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, A Reading Rainbow. I mean, seriously, I just felt like saying that. But anyway, brothers and sisters, we're getting ready to close this episode of The Culture Climate out. You all have been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful listening audience. You are beautiful. You are wise. You are intelligent. I expect you all to prosper this week. I expect you all to put your best foot forward. And I expect you to love any one of you all who's feeling down and out. You don't understand why all of this is happening to you. That's because something amazing is getting ready to happen to you. If you are at rock bottom right now, get ready, get ready, get ready. This is not a cliche. I just have to say this to you. Those of you who are experiencing several storms. I mean, storms. You don't know why all of this is happening. It's because of what you prayed for that you forgot about. You're being prepared. And you are getting ready to go into a whole new territory that you have not even asked for. And he's just getting ready to give it to you. So get ready. I have been attacked nonstop. And it is almost as if it's me against this group of people, group of spirits that are working through people. But one thing about me is I'm going to stand firm, and I am a fighter and I am a stiller. What is a stiller? You stealing stuff, Ayana? No. Stille. I'm going to stand still when I have to. I don't really care what you have to say about me. Far too long, I have had to defend myself. I've had to apologize when I wasn't wrong. I have to make an account and make up for somebody always trying to embarrass me or hurt my feelings. Look, if somebody chooses to smear your name, dog you out, treat you like crap, completely discard you, disrespect you, cheat on you, lie on you, neglect you, abandon you, and then turn it all around as if you are the one that has done it to them. Brother and sister, you have encountered a narcissist, and you need to pray for that person. And sometimes we can have those traits too. It goes hand in hand. But I know I have been on the receiving end of a lot of bull crap. And it has affected me to an extent. A little bit of my health, a little bit of this, little delay in progress. And I realized that you need to surround yourself with people who are doing what you do, going where you go, and want to be bothered with you. I'm serious about that. And there's more to come on that. I could really go in and air out, two people in particular who have tried to come for my life in the last 2 years, but leave it to them and they've done nothing wrong. So we're just going to let the Lord deal with you because his vengeance is much sweeter. And on that note, are you looking for a new love? Jody Watley was. Brothers and sisters, I thank you for tuning in to the Sister Speak Show. This is The Culture Climate. We've had a wonderful time, a lot of jokes, a lot of good clips, and a lot of good conversation. I'm not going to delay this any further. You all be encouraged, and I will converse with you all on, Friday. I have Saturday, the tour. My special guest, Tone the Goat, rapper, beat maker, engineer, well known. Shout out to the ATL. And then my last special guest for the month of August on Coming to the Stage is special guest actress Shamaya from the hit web series Money and Respect, filmed out of East Oakland, California, by director Lamar Lomack. Brothers and sisters, you be encouraged.